Hello everybody, and welcome back to Skip Allen Paints and my YouTube channel. Okay, so this is the fourth video in a series of videos about beyond painting. And what we've done before is adjust colors and adjust selected colors. That was after we duplicated the canvas layer and turned it to gel and then did some layer mask work on it. Okay, so we finally ended up, though, with the adjust selected color is the one that we wanted to keep, and we've dropped it to the canvas, and it's now to show you the next technique. And once again, we want to go Control A. Let's select that first. We want to go to Control A, which selects all. We want to go to our Layer Adjuster tool, and holding down the Alt key or the Option key, we click in the middle and that duplicates the canvas. Okay, now all along I've been using Channel Painter, and I'm going to continue using Channel Painter with this, but we're going to do something a little different. We're actually going to paint, sort of, on the image. In your brush control panel, there is a panel called Stroke Attributes. And you can use stroke attributes with a number of different brushes, and we can with Channel Painter. And so if I click on that, it's introduced using stroke attributes. Now what stroke attributes does is it allows you to paint on the layer as if you're painting with a composite method. So right now, if I've got it set to default and I select a bright yellow color and I paint, it's going to paint right over that surface as if I'm painting on a default layer. If I change this to gel and do the same thing, see, it works like the gel layer would work. It paints a transparent area of that yellow across. Let's do another one. Let's go to something crazy like difference. And again, when you paint with difference, you see you get those kind of variations that happen. Now, you can't do this on a layer without pigment. I mean, you can, but it doesn't work exactly the same way. It's supposed to be, you're supposed to be working on the layer, on the pigment that you want to be affecting. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go to Colorize, and I'm going to drop the opacity, the stroke opacity, so it's not quite so strong, and I'm going to go to a kind of a yellow-green color, and I'm going to reduce the size of my brush considerably. And I want to paint right here on this leaf. And what it's going to do is start bringing in a little of that yellow-green into it. If I bring it down a little darker, I could put it on the other side. But you see how it didn't really change color? Well, that's typical of Colorize. So what I'd want to do in this case, if I wanted it to be darker, is I would go to something like darken. And then when I came over here and began to paint, it would be a darker version over here. And maybe I want to put just a little of that darker in the top part. Something like that. I can also grab one of these colors up here, like that red, and we could go to let's go back to Colorize, and let's be sure that the opacity is low. Now I could come in here and colorize that green that I had and bring just a little bit of that pink down here. As a matter of fact, I might like a little of that pink on this leaf, and there's also this leaf. Now notice it really affects where the pigment is more so than where there's white. But that's kind of bringing us a little bit of a start of leaves, and I'm bringing a little of this red kind of down here so it moves your eye about a bit. Now, I think I would like to sample this blue color here. And then I want to come down to a darker variety of it, and I want to go to darken. I just want to work with kind of a cool color down here, and because it's at such a low stroke opacity, it's not going to put a very bright color down. It's just going to be a hint of that same blue, a little bit on the gray side. And all I'm trying to do here is kind of identify the leaves that were not painted to begin with. And that works pretty well. I want to go back up here and get some more of this red and put a little more of that red in here. A little bit more in here. If we go pink, and let's go to colorize, we can pink it up a bit. There, so that's kind of fun. Now what I'd like to do is go back to this blue, if I went to it before, I can't remember. And I'm going to come down pretty dark. I'm going to go back to darken and make my brush a little bit smaller so that I can just kind of put that blue-green out from this flower. Out from this particular leaf. Now, I'm going to bring up my opacity a bit to about 20-30%. And I can come in here, and now I'm getting that blue a little better. And make my brush a little bigger again. We come up here. And there, we're getting that darker color. And we're beginning to see that there's a leaf there. There's probably a leaf right here. And we know there's a leaf right here. I don't want to just kind of fill in the lines, but I want to give the impression of something happening down here. And using a little bit of a cooler color as well. This could be a leaf right there, actually. It's probably not. It doesn't matter. We'll just give it a little shot there. Actually, I don't like it, so I'm going to take it out. Leave it like that. Now, I want to go back to that lime green. And I'm on darken, which is fine. And I want to put some of that lime green in here, a little more than what's there. And you know what? Just a tad of it up here would be kind of nice. That's what's sort of fun about painting around an image, is you might find another spot to use a color that you wouldn't expect to use. But that actually looks kind of nice up here with this red, pink kind of colors. Just adds a little extra oomph to that color. Let's see what else we want to do. Well, I want to go to this color, but make it a lot oranger. And I want to go to colorize. And I really want this to be bright orange. And I'm going to come in here. And that's going to give me some nice orange in this area. Ooh, that's fun. And I think I'll put a little bit over here, just at the bottom of the petal. Notice how nicely it covers. Now this brush responds to pressure too. So as I'm painting, I'm doing a very light pressure. If I was doing a hard pressure, you see I'd get a much stronger amount of color. And I think we could probably use a little, no, I don't want that strong amount. We just want to give this the hint of some orange in more places. And actually, I would like a bit of yellow in here as well. So let's just bring in some yellow. That's because, you know, those roses that are kind of red and yellow and orange? That's what I'm thinking about right now. The original rose was not that way. But I think this is kind of fun to give it a little bit more. It's getting kind of bright. I don't like this down here, so I've got to fix that somehow. And I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. I'll look at it in a second. The first thing I want to do now, though, is I want to go to a real tiny brush. And I want to go to screen, which is going to give me a very light color. And I want to go to this pink that we're using here. And I'm just going to use this to enhance the highlights that we've got going here. There's some nice highlights. And I'm using that real tiny brush because I don't want it to be blobby at all. And there probably could be some highlights down at the bottom as well. Let's see what we can do to this. Let's go to gel, because that would go transparent. We'll stay in this, let's go back to this reddish color that we had. We'll build this back up a bit and go over it. I'm liking that better because it seems more translucent, but it's getting too close to the red up there and not believable. We need to go back to the green. Now with the green and gel mode, it's going to go dark. So let's take it to colorize again. There we go. There, now I'm liking that better with just touches of that red in there. And I think we could put a little of that green in here. And probably some down here as well. Maybe turn that to a little green. Put a little green in here. And this is too pat. So let's try to break that up a bit. Too close to the, following the lines too much. That breaks it up some. That's colorize. Let's break it up with gel, which should make it kind of darker right there. Come down darker. Wrong place, actually. I meant to be over here. And we can do the same thing up here. Oh, shoot, it's getting spotty. The bad thing about doing tutorials is you're trying to show a bunch of stuff. And so when you start showing the stuff, it gets, sometimes it gets a little too much. But we can fix that, you know? There are ways to fix that. And I think that I would like to stop at this point on this part, and let's add a layer mask. And we're still working with our channel painter. Take off stroke attributes, and we're going to go down to a dark, to black, because I really want to break up some of this that I had done before. See, it's like taking it off and going back to what was on the layer to begin with. So the rest of this is fine. Now let's go to a lighter gray, and that will reduce the strength of what we did, but still leave some of it there. Okay, now I really am going too far with this. So I know I've got one more thing I want to do, but I'm unhappy with what happened here. And I can't get that out now because it wasn't put on in the second layer. It's down here. I could probably lift the whole thing and take it off that way, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to leave it there. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the layer mask. I'm going to drop this again. Before I drop it, I'm going to go ahead and do a file iterative save, which brings us to our 5th riff. Come on. Uh-oh. Don't crash on me now. My computer's been real slow. I don't know. I've got to check and see what's going on with it. There's probably a whole bunch of files that need to be cleaned out or something like that. Okay, so now we've got this saved, and what I want to do is drop that layer, and that's the image so far. I've got one more thing I want to do, and we're going to go Control A. Oops, cancel. Don't want to do that. Control A, using the layer adjuster tool and holding down the Alt key or the Option key, I'm going to make another duplicate. Now, this time I'm going to do what I said I wasn't going to do the time before, and that is I'm going up to Effects, cancel. I'm going up to Effects, Total Control, Adjust Colors. And I'm going to just work on value, and I'm going to bring the value down pretty far, like that, but I'm going to do paper. And so it's a little bit too much. Let's bring it up a little bit from there. Maybe I want it to be down from there, about like that. Okay, so we're going to do paper. All right, and we're going to say okay. Now at this point, I don't want paper all over it, so I'm going to add a layer mask using my channel painter, not using stroke attributes, and in this case I want to go to black, black, yeah. Let's increase the size of the brush a bit, and I want to get all of this off of most of this flower. See, around the edges, I could get some of it where it looks like the paint kind of thins out. I could let a few of those paper textures show, but not much, just a little bit of it around the edge. Then I want to get it off this, and most of that off this one. Need to make my brush a little smaller. Come down. Okay, so we're taking most of this off. And I'm going to take some of this off, but not all of it, because that kind of, actually I'm going to leave that in there because it kind of blocks out that black, or it I don't know, makes that dark green that I'm not happy with, not quite so as noticeable to me. And there, I like that. So now I've got canvas texture showing, which is kind of fun. And so I'm going to apply the layer mask. I'm going to do another iterative save. And we got our 6. This one was easier. And we will drop that layer. And the next thing we're going to do is go to my sharp pencil, and we'll use this dark greenish color. Let's make it a little darker. And so about right here, we can sign it. No, don't like that. Let's make it a little bit darker. We'll come under here. There, signed. Okay, so that, my friends, shows you how you can take an image that looks like this, that now looks like this, and originally it looked like this. And essentially, we did this without painting. We did it mostly with, effects, the effects menu, or using stroke attributes to create the image. So you can take a painting that the idea was we took a painting that wasn't really finished. It was just a test, and then we came back and we tried to make it a better painting. As I said, when you're doing these demos, you tend to overdo things. But you have an idea of how it works. I hope that was fun for you. Enjoy, and Happy New Year, everybody. Bye-bye.